What's up, everybody? It's your favorite show, Get a Bucket. I'm your host, Trey, and as usual, I hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful day. And can we get excited off the usual right quick? I just want to say I'm getting better at it finally. Hey! So, we're going to get off the usual, and we're going to talk about the usual, basketball. Now, I talked on the last video about my prediction / wish list, more so your wish list, at least mine. I ended up with the Suns versus the Nets. That's what we're going to talk about there. Why do I want to talk about this matchup as the marquee matchup? There could be a couple other series. Hell, you could have the Bucks versus the Suns round 2, right? Like, maybe that's more entertaining. Well, I have the Nets versus the Suns, and it's for these few reasons. So let's go ahead and get him popping, right? Can we get it started with Kyrie versus D-Book? Two of Kobe's mentees. Personally, it's like number 1 and number 2. Because I always thought Kyrie just, was the little brother of Kobe Bryant who just tried to follow him everywhere. And D-Book, once he hit that 70 piece, hey, dog, you kind of just give it to him because he earned it. So that's the first piece. I want to see that matchup. Two of the premier young guards going at one another on the offensive end, at least, should be stellar to watch. Now, we also have Kevin Durant, my favorite player in the league, against CP3, my favorite point guard in the league. That's stellar. This should be a good one to watch, ladies and gentlemen, because one, we ain't seen it before. Like, it's new, it's exciting. But two, this is one of the few people who are actually still around in like the 2000, 2010 era. So bringing them back into fold, being leaders of this team, they are two of the most efficient players in the league. And to be honest with you, Kyrie and KD, D-Book and CP3, two of the most efficient duos in the league. So these 2 points are centered around the two stars, and they have different storylines to talk about. Now, we also got to throw in Kyrie versus CP3, because these two are actually point guards. And coming into the league when Kyrie got drafted out of Duke, shout out to my boys, well, I did think, hey, Kyrie might just turn out to be a scoring version of CP3. CP3's a lead at passing. Kyrie's a lead at scoring. I would say CP's good at scoring and Kyrie is good at passing, although someone might try to argue differently. So I think it kind of shaped up. Like, they're similar players, and I want to see this matchup just because I've always wanted to see this matchup. I thought Kyrie, like I said, could be a better version as a scorer. CP3 is the better floor general. So I want to see which guard wins. Is it the traditional or more so the new age with a hint of traditional? Because Kyrie does have some throwback to his game. So again, those are the reasons why that I personally want to see the matchup. Now, you also have things such as, DeAndre Ayton and JaVale McGee. Can they go up against Drummond and Claxton and Griffin and Marcus Aldridge? Who wins that matchup? Because I think Ayton is the better talent out of those bigs. But he's still kind of young. I do expect him to at least drop 15 and 10. I'd like to see 20, but 15 and 10 should be reasonable, especially with like a block or two. That's what I'm expecting from Ayton. But you could say that. I could bring up the reserve or the quote-unquote role players such as Mikal Bridges, Jay Crowder, Cameron Payne, Cam Johnson, or on Brooklyn's side, we got Seth Curry, Goran Dragic, Patty Mills, and then Bruce Brown. So we can talk about that issue. We can even bring up Monty Williams, right? Back-to-back Coach of the Year versus Steve Nash, a relative young coach for himself. But not just that. You got the black coach versus the white coach. Monty Williams has actually struggled to get to a head coaching position, and it's really unfair. Steve Nash retires, waits a couple seasons, gets the coaching job of arguably the best team in the NBA, just like that. So, I mean, you have that racism factor within not the NBA, but sports and the world in general. So that's another storyline that I want to bring up as well. But the first three, are really what I wanted to highlight on. And it's, again, centered around the two best duos, at least efficiency-wise, in the NBA. That'll be stellar. Both teams play good defense. Both teams play good offense. That would be crucial. That'll be a great series to watch, people, and to talk about. Especially if Ben Simmons can come back. Oh, that's even better. Another storyline right there. Now, what happened during the regular season between these two teams? You know, East and West teams, they play 2 times each now on the same Sky Conference. You know, you play 3 times, and if you're in the same division, well, you play 4 times. That's how the breakdown goes, if you were wondering. Well, the Suns ended up sweeping the Nets. Now, here's the thing, though. Both games never had Kyrie and KD. They also never had Seth Curry, Goran Dragic, and Andre Drummond. 3 players who score and play pivotal roles from the reserves, okay? Then they also did not have Ben Simmons, who Ben Simmons has been practicing. Let me say that again. Ben Simmons has been practicing, ladies and gentlemen. There's a possibility now that he can show up in the playoffs. And that just helps out the Nets even more. That's depth, that's defense, that's passing, that's rebounding. They got enough shooting. Ben doesn't need to shoot. He's in a good situation. Hopefully that works out, and hopefully everybody can stay healthy. But they didn't have that against the Suns. So now against the Suns, oh, by the way, the first game they lost, it was like what? 6-point game. KD had 39. Now D-Book did throw in a casual 30 ball. You know, CP3 had 22. So that's cool. Harden had a triple-double. And then the next game, well, Kyrie and Harden go off. You know, have solid games. 26 for Kyrie, 22 for Harden. D-Book dropped in 35. So when you add in players like a Seth Curry, Andre Drummond to help out on the defensive end and rebounding, you add in Kevin Durant, and you just replace James Harden. Yes, James Harden was a key call, don't get me wrong. But Kyrie and KD plus this team is a little bit different. So I'm expecting this Nets team to turn that turn that regular season record around. I'm not saying it's going to be 2-0 favoring the Nets. One, you can't in the playoffs have a 2-0 record. 7-game series at max, 4 at minimum. So right there. But I'm not saying a sweep. I'm saying it should be a close game, close series, and possible 6, possible 7. That's where I'm looking. I'm leaning more towards the 6-7 range as opposed to the 5-6, and that's with Ben Simmons coming back to the lineup just because he hasn't played all season. So I'm expecting he's not going to be that healthy. So again, people, I just wanted to give you guys the focal points. So in case you were wondering, the role players, you know, they have to play their roles like at an exceptional level. And to be honest with you, everybody has to do that. Okay, like that's for everybody, but especially the role players, because you know teams are going to try to make role players win. Like the Cavs just tried to do that with Bruce Brown in the play-in game, and Bruce Brown almost had a triple-double. If you're a role player for the Nets, you're going to get your time to shine. Easy. So that's my focal point for the finals. Whose role players end up doing better? Will it be the Suns or will it be the Nets? Next, star duos. I told you guys, these are the most efficient duos in the NBA. Who comes out on top? Who's number 1? Who's number 2? I'm going KD and Kyrie just because, one, they are efficient and electrifying. And it's really hard to stop them. Don't get me wrong. It's hard to stop D-Book and CP3. But I've seen that. I've seen them slow down. I've seen KD and Kyrie slow down as well. But it seems a little bit easier to do for D-Book and CP3. So I'm thinking the Nets star duo will outshine the Suns star duo. But because I'm thinking that, don't get it twisted. I do know and understand it could flip-flop. I'm biased on this one. But I do think the Nets duo outshines the Suns. Then, Ayton's production. I told y'all earlier, you don't have to, I don't want to mention it too much, but Ayton is a key call. He's the third piece of their big three, if you will, for the Suns. That means he has to show up. He's not going to be guarding Kevin Durant. Like, not one-on-one, not in the ISO unless it's a switch situation, pick and roll type thing, but He's going to have to help out on the interior. He's going to have to also show up for the Suns offensively. And when I say he's going to show up on the interior, I mean defensively, getting blocks, protecting the rim, making it a little bit tougher for a Kyrie Irving, for a Kevin Durant, for a Bruce Brown, or whoever else might try to go down the lane. Like, that's what Ayton has to do. So that's a critical piece and a focal point that I wanted to talk about. Because, hey, if Ayton shines, it makes it a little tougher on the Nets to win, with or without Ben Simmons. If Ayton can't, it just makes it a little bit easier for the Nets to win, which I personally have been favored already. So that's my third focal point. My final one, Ben Simmons' possible level of play. I told you guys he's coming back, so there seems like he's healthy enough to potentially play. And if he is able to play, what level of Ben Simmons are we getting? Are we getting all NBA, all-star caliber NBA Ben Simmons? Or are we getting a shell of himself? Either way, as long as he can play defense, rebound, and pass, I'll be okay with that. Because that's all he needs to do on this team right now. And for his own legacy, if he wants to learn how to shoot, cool. But on this team, where he can be part of a dynasty, he doesn't have to do it right now. But those are my 4 focal points for this game. Again, this series. Hopefully it happens. Please, can we get, you know what I'm saying? Can we have some luck go my way, please? I would hope so. Somebody out there listening, please. But please like, subscribe, comment, tell anybody who's anybody about the show. Let me know your thoughts below in the comment section. If you agree or disagree with me, 1, that the Nets and Suns will get here, and 2, if the Nets will win. But hey, I'm Trey, host of Get a Bucket. Hope you all have a good one. Take care.
I did not know you guys were still here. As you can see, we're at the back end of the show. No pun intended, but look, hope you all enjoyed it. And before you go, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow the IG account, share the content to anybody who's anybody. And most importantly, leave your thoughts and comments below. But I gotta go back and play Buddy in 2K, so let me unmute him real quick. Excuse me. Hey, boss, I'm back. Nah, you better catch this word. You know we get buckets right here, kid.